red, blue, purple light. Friends, red, blue, purple light. Friends, facts, red, blue, purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts, you can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road, you better stay on your toes. I was till the land, focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours, peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, 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 welcome to Know the Ledger 444. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for this afternoon, Brother Red Pillar. And today's a special episode. Today is a well-needed special episode. It is a timely episode. This episode falls under the category of health and wellness. This is a lifestyle episode. This episode is dealing with the winter solstice. This episode is dealing with detoxing. This episode is dealing with life. All right. And I have a good brother who is actually another KTL alumni. Me and his brother, we go way back, I believe all the way to Blog Talk days. All right. Brother Professor Gabriel has been holding it down with us, doing his damn thing. So it's only right that we bring the good brother forward, especially in the beginning of this new fiscal year, or I would say during flu season and during the winter solstice. Let's just scrap all of that new year shit out the way. During flu season, a mutated flu season, and the winter solstice. All right. Time to detox, time to get right, time to take shit serious, and time to stop playing. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to you our good brother, none other than Professor Gabriel Hernandez in the building. Peace to the God.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love. How are you, King?
Man, all is well, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Likewise. No doubt, man. Before we get started, please introduce yourself. We have a lot of new members in the building and whatnot, people who are not from the Blog Talk era. So this will be their first time in your presence. So definitely introduce yourself.
Indeed. Give thanks again, brother. For those who don't know, I'm Dr. Gabriel Hernandez L. I'm a naturopathic doctor, acupuncturist, herbalist. I've been teaching medical Qigong for a little over 25 years now. And you know, I have been in the community in the Atlanta area, um, again for the last 25 years plus, assisting people, helping people. I've owned a few restaurants in Atlanta,
Mhm.
and you know, I'm still doing the work. I'm more into the
Right.
agriculture side of things these days,
I was
and just
just about to say, when we gonna talk about that green thumb of yours, you and your wife. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I
we
had
could.
some of your greens at the vegan social before.
True,
I
true.
was
Yes,
highly
yes, yes.
impressed.
Yeah, I've been growing. I got involved in agriculture actually due to the work you were doing in Blog Talk as far back as 2010. You introduced me to a brother known by
Mr.
Mr. Anderson.
Anderson,
Yes,
the gold
and
soil, right? With the black gold.
that's right.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Mr. Anderson.
shout out to brother Anderson, Mr. Anderson. Yeah, so I linked up with him first time I heard you guys bring him on the show. He came out to the house, inspected my land, showed me what I could do. He gave me some of the first, insights on how to start to work with the earth. And then
Oh,
from there, about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I met a goddess of a young woman who was knee deep in farming, and just first thing she showed me was she was growing goji berries in the backyard on the south side of Atlanta, and I was like, so of course I had to give her two children
that's
immediately,
right.
and so yeah, that's how I got into agriculture.
No doubt. Congratulations. I've said on occasions that men who are into produce are they receive a different gaze in the eyes of their counterparts. The female gaze, I've been told, is one of production. Especially if you could show and prove that you could produce. Henceforth, why they had so many baby booms in Detroit and in Chicago when those men were in what? Manufacturing and in production. Clean money though, not what they're doing now. Clean. These men had 3 or 4 families. When you hear about the great grandfathers and the grandfathers in the South who had 30 children, but they also had 30 acres though. They
That's
leave that part out. You know what I mean?
right.
So it's like production, produce is a key to bringing the family back into more of a cohesive state. I was just reading an article the other day where somebody was talking about in all other cultures, it's not frowned upon to have multi-generationals in the house, like the grandmother and the mother, and then the child might have children and they stay in the house as well. They don't frown upon that in African culture, Asian culture, Indian culture, and some other cultures, but they definitely frown upon that in our culture, this individual mind state to where we all have to be separated and whatnot. So the first question I want to ask you, my good brother,
Sure.
is what is there a connection between produce, farming, and family?
Cool. Man, there definitely is. You're really speaking to like my last year in mission with
Okay.
that whole statement. So, I have a small farm in Atlanta, but
Oh, you
last,
do?
yeah, very, very small farm on the south
Okay.
side. And then
Congrats on that.
my grandmother, and speaking of the grandfathers from those days, like I come directly from that.
Okay.
So I had to come down to South Carolina, where my family's from, and my grandmother and my grandfather had recently passed. My mother was reaching out to me, asking me, could I assist her family land into some agricultural farmland. And
Yes.
so I basically came down here on a mission. I was coming down like on the weekends. Then I came down, started spending more time, and currently just cultivating, a few acres here for the family, and building some more structures here. And so yeah,
Mhm.
last year was our start, but with the government shutdowns and all of those type of things, I had to wait. I literally just got my farm number on Monday. I applied last January for it, but it
Oh
just,
man.
yeah, so everything got pushed back. But now the NCRS is already ready to come out. They're coming out in March. So for those that don't know, that want to get into this, you know I don't mean to get off topic, but
Nah, I literally was about to ask you about that, but go up, please enlighten us.
yeah, so like, you know how I know reparations is a big topic,
Yes.
and the agricultural department, um, the USDA, uh, basically has, because of all of the disenfranchisement of the black farmers over the last however many years, I don't even know the exact amount of time, but because of that, they are investing hundreds of millions of dollars back into farmers, agriculture, period. Whether you're urban farmer, whether you're in the country, regardless, they're no longer putting those barriers in between the money and the farms and the farmers. As long as you
Right.
have your paperwork lined up. So basically, what I was explaining is,
Is this a Trump thing?
actually, partially, yeah. But
Okay.
when he came back in office, so last year when I was applying for the FSA number, for the farm number, there were
Mhm.
some issues with him coming back in the office. There were some things changing, but they weren't sure
Right.
what was happening. So
They
there
didn't
was,
know what was gonna happen. Right.
yeah, there was
So
a
it was
stall on
freeze.
everything. Yeah, everything was
Right.
stalled up. So that's why it took a year to get my farm number for this property here.
Can
And
you explain to the family what a farm number is, please?
so a farm number is basically what uh, identifies your land as a farm. So one of the first things you have to do is first either own or lease the land, right? Then you
Okay.
have to go and get the land zoned. So you go to your local county offices, the courthouse.
Mhm.
Different cities have it set up differently, but it's a simple phone call. They'll be able to direct you where to go. You give them the address, they'll tell you if it's agricultural or not. And if it's not, then you may or may not have a way around it, depending on what city you are in. I'll give you a quick example. So, um, the farm in Atlanta is on residential land,
Right.
and there's a HOA in the community, but we were still able to get a farm number on that land, on that property.
Oh, congrats. That's dope.
Exactly, with 3 tracts of land on it also. So like your yards become what they call fields. So for instance, we got 3 fields on that property, both side yards and the backyard. Okay.
Mhm.
So just to give you an idea how that sets up. But the FSA number, the farm number, is basically what gives you the ability to then go and get grants, get other types of funding for your farm, to take part in all types of free classes. I've taken, actually last year I didn't get a chance to go, but because I do all this different stuff with the USDA when they offer it, they gave me a free like a 7-day thing to go to Ghana. But I had other stuff going on at the time. But yeah, I mean, it's really, sky's the limit. And if you
Okay.
have any type of grant writing experience, um, you can go into grants.gov, and there's literally hundreds of millions of dollars available for whatever you want to do. So
Right.
yeah.
But you got it's imperative that you have all of these numbers and these quote unquote certs and stuff, correct?
Yeah, as long as you have your FSA, your farm number, you're pretty much good to go. And then
Pretty much.
pretty much after that, they'll set up a meeting for you with the NCRS, which is another department within the USDA. And what they do is they come out, assess your property, and then they tell you how much money you're going to need, like basically how big of a check they're going to cut for you for your property to help you either put high tunnels, or if you need help with your irrigation, or for
Right.
like, for instance, not only this land here, but the farm in Atlanta is also highly erodible land. So that land requires a little bit of adjusting, and so that takes money, and
Right.
they provide those funds to get you going. So it's
So
a great program.
question.
Mhm.
Let's say that I was eyeing an acre, 3 or 4
Mhm.
before. So is there a way to survey the land? Is there somebody that I could literally bring in to survey land prior to a purchase so they could tell me if it's fit for farming or not? So
Sure.
is that
There's a few ways you can go about that, right? So a surveyor is one thing. So the surveyor can tell you like really what the land would look like. So they, you see them on the side of the road with the little optical lenses, and they're basically seeing how the level of the land, the lay of the land. Now that's important, and you do want to get that done. But if you're going to be farming, it's more important to know the zoning for the farm, right?
okay?
So you want to go to your zoning department, and then you want to make sure you call like your local. Usually, most cities will test water for you.
Okay.
They have a program where they'll do a free test for water, not necessarily for your well, but it'll be like to test like a creek on your land to make sure it's not contaminated.
Contaminated, right.
Yeah, you got to go through your city to see who offers that for your city. Um,
Okay.
and you do want to test the water if you do have water and the soil. So you want to get soil tests and water tests if you have water. Like on this land, we have a creek. So, but I've known this is literally my ancestral land. My mother and her brothers and sisters grew up here playing,
On that land.
Yeah, my
Dope.
grandfather built this house. So, uh,
Dope.
yeah, when I got here last year, I noticed in the backyard there was about a dozen elderberry trees. I was like, what?
Wow.
Like, thank you, God.
You feel me?
Yeah,
It's a layup.
easy.
Yes.
But yeah, that's really all you need. The NCRS, because once you get your farm number, the NCRS will actually send people out to the land to actually give it a further look. Like, so in March, I got them coming out here to let me know. I kind of already know what's going on, but they basically write it down, put it on paper, and they cut the checks to help you fix it.
So let's say that I'm sitting on multiple acres
Mhm.
and the land goes far back. And I just say, you know what? I want to convert one of those acres into an elderberry farm, right?
Mhm.
This will be the process that I would have to go about that you just mentioned
Yeah.
to get it, to have it surveyed, get the soil tested, apply for my license and
Yes.
whatnot. Did you call that the FSA?
FSA, yep. Whenever
Yeah.
when you look up FSA, you're gonna see that it's gonna be connected to the USDA. So it's gonna say Office of the USDA.
Oh,
It's
okay.
usually housed in the same office with the USDA. They just have a
Cool.
different job within that organization.
Have you faced any type of quote unquote racial disparities in this? Because I know that you're very aware of
Mhm.
how the Albion moves and business and things of that nature, and I'm sure you're aware of the gripes that some of the farmers have put out there, the melanated farmers.
For sure.
In your demonstration, have you seen any type of pushback from clerks or any type of officials?
Nah, I think because of whatever happened with the law, they are very touchy with that. They are very gentle with you. They are
Okay.
very helpful. They make sure whatever questions you got, they make sure they give you direct numbers. Like I've gotten nothing but like the red carpet service, to be honest with you.
Dope. I've seen an influx over the years, especially in New York, where a lot of the quote unquote city slickers
Mhm.
have decided to, do the reverse migration and venture south, right? Some back to their ancestral lands, such as what you're pointing out, grandmama, grandfathers, people that were sitting on this land and whatnot. Some people cashed out and went and bought land and decided to go back. In your experience, right? And being that you're in it, and I'm sure that you've connected to networks of people, what would you say that looks like? Like, what would your assessment be? Is that still happening? Is it happening more or is it happening less? do you see an exodus out of the mega cities and the big cities more so into rural areas, or do you see rural areas still spilling into the cities and whatnot?
It's still a little bit of both, because you got your people in the city that are realizing how valuable the country really is.
Right.
And so yeah, they're making that move. But the same thing is going on here in the country. People don't want to be here no more. They're
Right.
like, we want to get out the country. There's too many cows and horses. You know, we trying to get to this. They trying to get away from it. So they want to go to the city.
Get in the mix.
So they're like, man, you from Atlanta? You know, they want to know everything about the city. And I'm like,
right.
Only thing I really miss, you know, I'll come back and forth maybe twice a month, but is the food. I mean, to be honest,
The food where?
in Atlanta, you know, we have so many options. You know, you can, where I'm at, you better have, you know, your kitchen game better be nice, because, you know.
Okay, you did mention, because we gonna go down a little bit of
Sure.
memory lane.
Yeah.
You did mention that it was 25 years since you touched base in the A, right?
A little bit longer, but yeah, that's how long I've been serving in the A. I'll say that.
What would be your assessment about the quality of the quote unquote vegan food, raw food, and the healthy food in Atlanta? Has it gotten more better for your palate? Do they over deliver now, or do you see a substantial drop in quality?
I'll say over the years, a very substantial drop in quality for sure.
Do you think COVID has something to do with that?
I want to say it started. Yeah, it did. Actually, it did. Yeah, that's where it definitely got inundated. People who had really no horse in the game was like, this is a good way to make some bread. You know,
right.
This is a quick way, quick flip. You know, a lot of people, and I'm gonna just get transparent. So, you know, you remember Viva La Vegan, right?
Yes.
So that was everybody's favorite. It was, you know, it was everybody's favorite little guilty vegan spot. You know, it wasn't the healthiest, but the flavor was ridiculous, right?
Right.
The people that took over that building after them.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Do you mean on Lee Street? Viva La Vegan on Lee Street?
Viva La Vegan.
Okay.
Yeah, they had the po' boys. Yeah, the po' boys was, you know, magical. But there was somebody that took over after. And I just want to use this as an example.
Right.
They took some of the menu items from Viva La Vegan, some of the menu items from my restaurant, some of the menu items from Tassili's, some of the menu items from a few of the other, you know, popular places in Atlanta. And she made this menu, didn't even change the names of the items.
Right, right.
And this was in the same.
She went to cloning. Yeah, that's the beginning of the cloning era. It happened all across the board. I'm sorry to cut your wisdom.
No, go ahead.
It happened in apparel, right?
Yeah.
People started just taking the apparel designs. They took the exact same shit, the King Tut, put it right on their shirt. It happened in apparel. It happened in health. The Seymour shit went crazy. It happened with the Sabi cloning. It happened with the food, the vegan food. It just happened everywhere.
Yeah, it was sad. And you know, one of the things that got me is they started getting a little busy, right? So even though I seen my items on their menu, I was like, you know, it's all good. I said, do y'all need some help in the back? You know, because I see y'all building up. I said, I don't mind jumping back here and helping y'all out, because these people waiting, y'all already getting like a 30-minute wait. I was like, I'll help you out. And so I got back there, helped the brother that was back there. I'm talking about Wonder Bread, white Wonder Bread. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. It was real bad. And I'll leave it at that, man. But just to give you an example of what was going on and what's been going on.
Yeah, something happened. I can't necessarily put my finger on it because it was a collapse on all fronts. You know, I'll get on this platform sometimes. It just depends on what day it is. It just depends on where I'm at mentally, and it just depends on the topic. But you know, I'm bound to just go on a little ATL rant sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's nothing personal. It really just stems from disbelief, and it kind of stems from, you know, shock. Like, I'm somewhat shocked. There's a level of shock and awe. How because I'm feeling the loss of potential.
Yeah.
You know, that's just what it is. Imagine leaving somewhere and then coming back. Like, imagine leaving a mansion and then you come back and it's a bando.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, you're still inside of it. You still got to be there, but you're like, God damn, what happened? Like, because it happened fast. So it's like, you know, just the rise of the conscious dysfunction. And I believe you. We could be here for an hour. There's multiple things that I would talk about, you know. But it is what it is. Let's focus on the positive, though. Let's focus on the fact that you are here on the winter solstice and you've put a tome together, you've put a pamphlet together, you've put a book, an ebook together. Is there also a physical book as well?
Yeah, I went ahead. I got a lot of requests for the physical copy, so
Right.
I took a day out of my time and just put that together for everybody because it was basically done. I just had to actually put it through the publishing process.
Right. No doubt. No doubt.
But yeah, I just wanted to give people something for free, man. I've written other books, but I know how important it is, and in these days and times, like although I'm aware of the whole issue with casting pearls to swine, I know
Right.
that that's not always the case, and sometimes people just need the information. They might not have the money to get it, but they actually will follow through.
It
So
will apply it.
I
Right.
just wanted to give a free gift away, man, and just show some love, and that's really what
Absolutely.
that came out of.
Yeah. Definitely. Salute to that. Let's get to the cellular renewal, the vitality aspects. One of the biggest things going on with men right now and women is this whole thing about fatigue, right? That was the word for 2025, black fatigue, online fatigue. You know, there was all of these fatigues and this regular fatigue. People are like, yo, I'm so tired. I'm burnt out. I'm feeling a lack. I don't know what it is, but I don't have that drive like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like people were pointing to parasites, right? People
Yep.
were pointing to blue lights,
Mhm.
right? People were pointing to poor soil. There were so many hypotheses that were being thrown out there.
Sure.
Do you have a take on the quote unquote rise in fatigue amongst the people?
Yeah. We look at it something like, how you might hear somebody say burning a candle at both ends.
Right.
What a lot of people, and I'm not gonna say everybody, but what a lot of people are dealing with is that fatigue sets in, is dealing with the kidneys and the adrenal glands.
Mm.
And
You
the
said the kidneys and the adrenal glands, huh?
yeah, the kidneys are basically your batteries to your body. You know,
Okay.
I don't know, and we're all adults here. I hope that's watching. But so let me give you an example. So if a man, like for instance, I'm 46, right?
Yes.
And so accordingly, I should not ejaculate, but roughly every 10, 11 days or so, right?
Wait a minute. You did say you're married, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So that being said, there's certain practices that all of us should be privy to. I got started dealing with the deer exercises, testicular kung fu, um, qigong in general. But more recently, I got into some of the tantric systems.
Please, for the family in the building they might be like, wait, what? The deer? Can you please elaborate on
Yeah,
what you're saying?
the deer exercise or exercises for men and women are a branch within Taoist Qigong and Neigong arts
Right.
that can be identified as sexual kung fu.
Sexual kung fu.
Sexual kung fu. Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. And so deer exercises for men would be like what you might call testicular kung fu. And so there's different breathing exercises that you do, different poses that you might hold. And basically what it does, it gives you self-mastery. And
Right.
best way I can put it, simply. And
I'm
these
gonna
are
get back to that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna circle the wagon on that term, self-mastery. We're gonna get back to that, but please continue.
Yeah. So the reason why I brought that up, I had a cousin of mine years ago. He was asking me similar questions, and I was telling him, about the ejaculation cycle and different things of that nature. And he, he was like, "Man, I don't believe you." So he tested it out for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, in one day, he released somewhere between 6 to 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
His whole face sunk in. He had no
Mhm.
energy. He needed like 3-4 days to recover.
Right.
And getting to actually see that in front of me, because at the time I was probably 22, maybe 23 years old. So I had been
Right.
studying for a few years, and I knew it theoretically.
Right.
But seeing a cousin of mine that was 10 years older than me test it and
Well,
prove it in front of me, I was just like, wow. But long
what
story short,
Yeah.
fight or flight symptoms. So we're in a lot of people are, dealing with financial issues, family issues, emotional traumas, all types of traumas, period.
Right.
And those traumas cause us to have various cycles that will continue to play over and over until we're able to learn from those lessons within those situations. And
Right.
so as long as you're chasing your tail and burning both candles at the end, you're not eating correctly, you're not getting enough sleep for yourself, you're not doing any kind of meditation, you're going to work, you're coming home trying to chase the children, you're trying to get food, you're trying to still run to the store, do what you got to do. All of this plays a role as far as exhausting the adrenal glands, and the fatigue starts to set in. And then, so this is like, you ever had a tea kettle and you burned it had water in it, but you burnt all the water out?
It turns black.
Exactly. And this is basically what's happening. They're just
so it's a burnout.
Yeah, they're just burning this. They're burning the furnace, but there's no
There's
fluid.
nothing in it.
There's nothing in it. And so replenish.
I got it. I did the math.
Mhm.
I'm not the best mathematician, but according to my calculations, a man in his mid to late 40s, early 50s should be participating in the act of ejaculation, right? And I'm assuming with a partner 3 times a month.
Yes. I mean,
So,
for optimal health.
Right.
It's for optimal health. Yes.
Right. So intercourse would be sort of like scheduled on a cycle.
I wouldn't say that per se. So within these, whether you practice in Tantra or some of the Taoist arts, the goal is not necessarily to become like sexless or anything like that. The practices actually help you. So like how Marvin Gaye used to say, as far as sexual healing.
Sexual healing.
So a man really, ideally, and I understand the reality, right? But ideally, ejaculation is the path that you would want to seek. And
well, you did say mastery, so is that in the toolbox of mastery for men?
Exactly. So a man first.
I want the ladies to hear this because that's the problem with the ladies. Ejaculation, they have not been taught about that. They see that as there's body shame involved in that. There's this whole thing about I wasn't good involved in that. They look at that man crazy if you don't finish. So I want to, I don't want to assume that everybody is on the same page, that we all mastered this quote unquote lesson. This is something that is relatively new in our community. The adaptation of the Montauk Chia and like you said, the sexual kung fu, what our good brother Wayne Chandler was bringing to us. When our generation starts speaking about it to the younger generation that are online, they're like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, they know what No Fap November is, but they don't know about ejaculation to that degree now. So I would love to elaborate.
Yeah, it's pretty important, actually. So this is what separates like the men from the boys sexually. So this is where, the average man, he's just going as long as he can.
Right.
Whether that's 30 seconds or that's 30 minutes. He's just trying to last it out. But when you go through these various trainings, you end up learning yourself again, self-mastery. Most men ejaculate or prematurely because they think that they're getting ready to ejaculate. But all they're doing really is feeling the woman's energy starting to swirl and build up. And that little bit of tingling, most men can't handle that. And that, boom, and they're done. But that wasn't even them. And so you first have to be able to discern her energy from yours. Okay. And then along with the breathing, that's where the breathing comes in. So you hear people talking about the Kundalini rising, or in Qigong microcosmic orbit, and you're bringing the Qi up the back of the spine. Well, that's what you're doing during what is called the big draw. So instead of ejaculating, you're doing a big draw. You're breathing the ejaculation up the back of the spine and recirculating it into the body, which those who have experienced this will be able to tell you that the feeling is like, it is enlightening. You now have got to experience a full body orgasm as a man.
Right.
Except you're not sleepy. You didn't lose any seed or any life force.
Right.
You're just ready to keep going. And in fact, however long it took you to get to that one, it's going to take you twice or three times as long to get to that feeling again, which means you can take your time and really satisfy your woman properly. And as far as
add on, she was building synchronized breathing, right?
Yeah.
I was in a session before with a queen, and we lined up spine to spine, and then we got in sync with our breathing, and we became one. It was it was very interesting, and she was guiding me through the whole thing. You feel me? And it was like, once we locked in, it literally was like one person, one unit, one source. Yeah. So what do you know about that?
I haven't done that particular practice per se, but what I can say is that the amount of spiritual experiences to be had during sexual intercourse are innumerable when you have a partner that is willing to go there with you and have the willingness to take their time, do these exercises with you, because it like removes the layer of lust off, and it's like we really about to get to this work, So it's a different type of mind state that you have to have, and finding someone to actually engage with you on that level is definitely not easy to do.
It's definitely, that's like finding a needle in a haystack.
For sure.
This was sort of like a double question because you brought up trauma earlier.
Yeah.
And I think that hypersexualization and trauma are intricately tied to one another, right? Sometimes men who go throughout the world and take in so much trauma and take in so much, quote unquote, they they absorb so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their way of releasing that trauma so they don't quote unquote blow up, right? Because when you take too many things in, going back to that kettle, that kettle analogy, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you'll blow the lid, right?
Right.
So certain people snap when they can't, you know, they get a mental snap and whatnot. So
Mm-hmm.
some men, they're able to offset their trauma by masturbation, right? By fornication and whatnot, you know, by hypersexualization, just chasing a cat, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
just using their phallus as a ways to just dump pain and trauma. What would be some of your to somebody who may be listening who's going through things of that nature, what would be some of your quote unquote, what would be a remedy to that? How could someone break that cycle?
Yeah, so I'll speak to exactly to that. So if someone is utilizing masturbation to deal with their trauma, I mean, they might as well just be drinking, you know,
Right,
because all they're doing is just getting that hit of dopamine just to forget for a minute. Um,
right,
so that's not a healthy way to deal with anything. I mean, that's showing that you have an addiction. So
right,
that's that's a whole nother conversation, and you need a little bit of assistance.
right.
And just being as plain as possible.
No
Um,
doubt.
if you're dealing with, if you're taking your frustrations out on the box, if you will,
Right, right.
um,
We can say the Yoni on the show. It's
on the one,
Friday.
exactly,
Yeah. Shabbat Shalom.
it's
It
Friday.
ain't Saturday yet.
Yeah. So if you're taking part in that type of activity, you're it can't. And I'll say this: you can literally be transmuting a lot of that energy that way. But what you're doing is you're probably and more than likely damaging the sister in the process on a different level, you know, that you're not perceiving. Um,
Toxic sperm.
exactly. And but this type of energy should be transmuted through tantra, or can be, I should say.
Can you
Um,
please explain?
sure. So
Yeah.
when it comes to tantra, a man has to work on a woman because of the polarity and vice versa. So if a
Right,
man is dealing with certain traumas, he can go to a female tantric practitioner, and she can help you to transmute all of that trauma. Her polarity, she can help you transmute all of that, all of
right.
the negativity.
Make metal into gold.
Exactly. And that I found more recently than anything, that's one of the easiest ways to do it.
Right,
There are other ways to do it as fast. Some people have a lot of fear, so certain things you might not want to introduce to people. But and even tantra can be a little heavy for people. But if you want to get the weight off of you, it's an easy way to get it done. The root chakra is very powerful, and it's the foundation, and you can reach mastery through it. So
right.
it's a
So just to elaborate on what you was talking about with tantra, let's say that somebody's in the audience and they're listening and they're like, tantra, what what is that? Is that breathing? Like, what am I to do? How am I to approach my counterpart and introduce tantra? You know what I mean?
mm,
Because there are some situations and relationships where it was physical from the jump. So that's what both parties expect.
yeah,
And let's say that a man is like, yeah, babe, I'm stressed out and whatnot. I just want to breathe tonight. You know what I'm saying? I just want a massage. And they're like, fam, like you're here
mhm,
to pull my tracks out. Like this, I got you on deck to take me to Pound Town. You know
mm,
what I mean? I'm just saying that's really what it is sometimes. Like there are people that will push back against that.
mhm,
And there are men, if the sister comes home and she's stressed out and she's like, I just want to do the tantric thing for about a week and whatnot. We're not gonna do full penetration, or we're not gonna be doing all of that. We're just gonna go breathe. We're gonna do some yoga poses. We're gonna stretch. You feel me? I need
mm.
some Reiki.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, like I don't know if everybody is mature enough to kind of like just accept that.
No, you're right. That
Is
is
there a way to ease that in the relationship?
man, all you can do is bring it up. It's like anything. You got to lay it on the table. I mean, I've over the years, I've had uh, different women I've dealt with, and it took a long time to find somebody that was willing to do that. Most women, they may be aware of it and they'll
Yeah.
accept the benefits of it,
Right.
don't want to necessarily do it themselves or do the work that side of it. So, which you're not gonna everybody's not ready, as they say, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. So
Okay, question.
sure.
I'm going to cut your wisdom. So there's a lot of ladies out there who are sexually frustrated because there's a shortage of, I guess, available men. I don't know. Men who are to their standards. And I respect that. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like I can't necessarily get in the way of that. It is what it is. This is your body, and this is how your spirit is telling you. If you elevate it in your frequency, you damn right you need to have some standards and whatnot.
Yeah.
Is it so? Let's just say that there's that they find themselves a partner, right?
Mhm.
And this partner says, I want to help you with your energy, right? I want to do energy work with you. I want to manifest with you through the tantric exercises, but I'm not trying to get in a relationship, and I'm not even trying to sleep with you. I just want to go and do the tantric exercises, similar to like if you got a trainer in the gym. Like I'm not trying to get with you, but I do want to help you lift your glutamus maximus. I do want to help you remove your stomach and stuff like that. And I'm sure that there's an attraction it forms, but is that something that is, do you know? Because I don't really know about that. You know what I mean? I'm in Atlanta, but I don't know what the tantric circles are looking like. I was just listening to a video last night about a place where it's a swingers club. So they got swingers clubs out here, the size of warehouses, where people go in there and they swapping parasites, they ping ponging parasites with strangers and whatnot. You could take your wife there, you could take your lady there, you could take your date there, and they're doing everything underneath the sun. So if they're running around in a warehouse doing that, could we do a warehouse for Tantra where we could start manifesting, we could start healing, and we could start breathing right? And it don't have to be quote unquote XXX rated and whatnot.
Yeah. Actually, you're on to it. Technically, that's kind of how Tantra's designed. It's not necessarily for couples, although it's great for couples. I mean,
Right.
the best thing for a couple, in fact. However, you don't have to be with the person you're working with. Obviously, as a practitioner of it, you literally are an energy healer, helping the opposite sex deal with their traumas. Okay. That's literally what that work is all about. I know it looks differently when you see the videos, and a lot of people do put a bad light on it. You know what I mean?
In the sexuality perspective.
Yes, and not even that sexual. That's not the issue with sexuality. It's just when you whore it out. Yeah, when you try to whore it out, and you like, for instance, what was going on in Atlanta, and I ain't gonna say the whole thing, but some of the stuff I've heard over the years, or some of the guys who have been trained, now they're out here doing what they call yoni massages or G-spot activations. But those, like, so like, for instance, the idea of a yoni massage in Tantra is like so basic,
right?
That it's like day one, and then that's not really what we deal with anymore. Everything really gets into the energy and how to move the energy and how to identify where the trauma is sitting in the body, so that you can assist it, in raising that vibration and helping it move out. So it just gets weird. It gets into a weird marketing space,
And yeah, it's sort of like, and the thing about Atlanta, and I really don't mean to bring up Atlanta like that. Like Atlanta's a punching bag. I love y'all, Atlanta. You know, big ups to the city, right?
For sure.
But you know, in places like an Atlanta or other places where there's a lot of promiscuity, there's literally that thin line that once it's crossed, it'll go where it goes. You feel me? And there's just lines that get crossed out here a lot. I see. You know what I mean? There's a lot of lines that get crossed out here. What about fasting? Right? Is there a way to fast for men, especially hypersexualized men? Hypersexualized, because they say everybody, oh, I'm abstinent, I'm not giving it away.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that.
No,
I want to be respectful. People be think I punch down and whatnot when I start talking about things. But I'm a Scorpio, so we just go in. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dealing with both genders. I'm dealing with all scenarios. I'm just putting it out. I'm just putting it all out there. And sometimes that could be a bit too much for people. So I'm going to be respectful as to what I was going to say. But fasting, right? Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts? Because when you brought up the whole thing about the 3 times a month, if you're practicing ejaculation or if you're practicing certain, right? So I was like, that sounds great and whatnot. That would entail a level of fasting, though, for somebody who was, let's say, if somebody was active, there's people active 4 times a day, 3 times a day, depending on who you with. Yep. You know what I mean? So there would have to be a level of fasting to say, nah, we're going to build this energy up. We're going to build this chi up. We're going to build this charge up. We're going to build this attraction up. You feel me? Yeah. Like we're gonna make this thing a thing. So when we do link up, it's gonna be like we link. It's gonna hit like 1,000 times more. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Man, I'm just gonna come right out with it. You know, it's 100 days planting the seed is what we call it. You know, right. I think we had a conversation. If I had to think back, it was probably 2012, 2013. We used to go to these little meetings. I don't know if you remember, off of Memorial, at the brother's house, the producer's house.
With the Moors?
Yeah, you remember the brother? We used to all Tuesday. And I think you were telling me you had done something similar, and basically you take 100 days. You know, in Qigong traditions, it's called planting the seed.
Yeah, I was doing tantra with my partner back then. I did a whole
year, right?
Tantra routine to whereas it was I called it a top-down approach. You feel me? So we went from the top down. We connected here first. You know what I mean? We connected in the mind. It was very mental. It was very ethereal. You know, then it turned into more of a tantra type of thing. You know, never intercourse. You know what I mean? But by the time we got to that point to where we connected and whatnot, definitely it was magnetic. It was very special.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, so the fasting is again 100 days. So if any man wants to recharge, reset, he needs 100 days.
Wait, 100 days. And what is compromise of that fast for the 100 days? What are we doing?
So typically, all right. So you could the simple way to do it is just say no sex. Don't touch yourself. Don't touch anyone else for 100 days, and just keep it that simple. Now,
with a chastity belt?
Nah, just having some basic discipline.
Just some discipline.
Yeah,
hug it out.
But ideally, if you're going to do the 100 days, you want to have a practice to go with that. So if it's deer exercises, if it's Ting Sing Qigong, if it's Wei Qi Liu Fa, or whatever your system is, if it's the Tantra practices, because Tantra uses Qigong as well. And so, you want to find your practice, whatever that is. It can be one practice, it can be a full system. And for 100 days, you just focus on that. And what, like for instance, like right now, I'm in 100 days where I'm practicing Gum Jum Gao Tit Boyi, which
Come
is
out.
Tit Boyi, which
Tip
is
boy.
which is iron,
Um,
shirt, golden skin,
okay.
and
Yeah,
so
brother Shabazz out of New York.
mhm,
He was doing the iron shirt. You know what I mean?
exactly,
We would be like, huh. We would be, and he
yeah,
would take everything.
yeah, and it's I mean, you have to go 100 days without sex to practice this certain systems. So to gain certain skills in kung fu and in martial art world, you have to abstain. You have to give up certain pleasures to reach certain levels of
Reach certain
mastery.
levels.
Hmm. And
That
so
goes back to what you said about self mastery. I'm so glad we having this conversation. I'm almost nerding out because to the best of my ability, I get on this platform and I throw it out there every now and then because I know so many men struggling, and I just know so many men don't even know.
sure,
Like Lord forbid if I was able to get this information in my teenager years, I could have avoided a lot of wasted energy and time.
facts.
Um, and like you said, this level of discipline in the world that we're living in right now, because of the dismal state of affairs and relationships and whatnot, I do feel that it will give you a special type of aura as a man, and a woman, of course, to practice restraint, to practice some type of boundaries and whatnot, just to not be with the everyday, type of frequency that we know is very we know that shit ain't working. You know what I mean? You could just look outside and tell.
And you said that
Um,
right, because tantra itself is a frequency, you
it
know.
is.
And so like these practices are their own frequency, and it literally will raise you up to those levels. Um, and even in that being said, though, just in all honesty, with great power comes great responsibility. And not to
Yeah.
sound cliche, but I've seen in my few years, my few short years here, some of the elders, some of the people ahead of me, take some of that knowledge and power and misuse it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
although some of the stuff we're saying, it may sound a little hokey. It may sound like
Right.
what is he talking about? But this is real stuff. And there's people out here that have developed real skill and power. And
Right.
it should be used for good.
For
But some
good. Right.
people, flip to the dark side, and that happens
Yes.
as well.
Yes. Yes. It does happen. It does happen. Man is infallible. You feel me?
Yeah.
Um, you know, and yeah, I really would encourage anyone listening to this, especially during the winter time,
Oh,
when
especially.
when you're not getting your vitamin D and your iron and your zinc and things of that nature. I don't police no one in their sexual activities or their behaviors and whatnot. I just don't. You know what I mean? I'll throw around a bunch of I'll try to bring shame back sometimes out of love. You know what I mean? Because goddamn it, it just gets to a point sometimes where you just have to be a little bit raw and just speak your truth to some of the dysfunction that goes on.
Yeah.
However, I want people to be happy, and I want people to heal, because I know a healed person is a very dangerous person. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you know, I do know that a lot of the dysfunction, even between melanated men and women, I brought this up the other day about the Trinity.
Mm.
And there's this war going on between black men and black women, and it's all online, and you got all of these talking heads. They got like Chitlin Circus road shows that go state to state, filling up stadiums and shit, rooms with men and women getting up there, but I don't see no children up there.
Mm.
So my thing about the Trinity is, y'all always talk about men and women, but y'all leave out the child, and the child is not being brought up as to why the fuck the man and the women is at war. Why y'all don't bring the child up? Because in my situation, what I've seen, when a child comes, that's when the relationships are compromised. That's when the man start acting funny and whatnot. I can't tell you how many times when I lived in Harlem and whatnot, and I'll be out there standing behind the table and whatnot, right? And I just see mad newborn mothers with no man, or they're with a woman who's assumed the role of the man. And in my mind, I'm like, how the hell does this happen? Like, is the man dodging the day after the damn child is born? Is he out before the child? So it's like there's a situation going on where people are falling out when this third party is introduced, right? Because you hear the men saying, damn, I was the man before that. Now I'm second, you know what I mean? Now, shit, I ain't even a man. I don't get this. She not cooking for me. She not doing what she used to do. I don't get the attention, so I'm going to go get it from this person. You know what I mean? Then you got the ladies, and they like, oh, it's too much. I got to work. I got to take care of these children. Or you do it. That. So it's like the child is not being mentioned in this war of the genders, because you don't see too many people online saying, yeah, I was just running around knocking things down and I don't like women no more. Nah, they're not. They're talking from trauma. Usually this dude is on child support. He can't see his kids. There's always some traumatic situation, either the mother issues or something dealing with his child. And I'm watching. Sometimes I'm hearing certain people, and I'm like, yo, where's the child at? The two people, why don't y'all have the child at these shows when y'all up here with y'all lingerie on talking about what men are not doing? Where's your child at? Let them talk. Because that tends to be the issue. So my question to you would be is, what would you say to the people who are at war and having these gender wars and whatnot? Like, what would you say to them to deal with their form of healing?
Wow. I mean, that's heavy and pregnant, right? So, man, the gender wars really, I'll be honest with you, to me, they don't really exist. We have, like you said, a traumatized group of men and a traumatized group of women,
right?
Who have not dealt with their traumas,
right?
Who have not looked in the mirror and dealt with those things and have really resolved the issues, whether it's from their childhood, whether it's from relationships, whether they have mental illness. And that's the other thing, because a lot of people have mental illness and do not realize it. And they're out functioning with the rest of us. And they, can look and act like most of us. And then you find out later,
Have they normalized mental illness to a degree?
Yeah, I think our culture, which I'm glad has become more aware of it, but I think we have to do a little more work in that regard, because, for instance, we have a lot of, let's say, police who have mental issues that stuff is not being addressed. We look at some of the statistics, we talk about, what they say, they're the number one abuser of their spouses, and also, how should I say it online, unaliving of their spouses as well.
Yes. Yes.
So obviously, not only is their job extremely traumatic and stressful, and that's not being dealt with, but these people are obviously not being assessed properly as they come in, which is, off this topic, but just as an example of what's going on in society regarding trauma and mental illness. So when you're dealing with the men and women, first of all, we don't, like you mentioned it early, we don't have that same foundation. We don't have the same principles and morals that we once had. We don't have typically grandma ain't in the house no more. We don't have grandma, the mama, the daddy, the children,
the council.
We don't. Those three generations don't.
Right, that was council. The aunties form Voltron and grandma that's council. They tear you up.
Yeah, so that's important, and that's something I got to, I got to see that, like in my house, you know,
Yeah.
in my family. I got to see both sides of the fence in my family, though. You know, so being able to see all of those full dynamics, it shows you like we need that. And so since these women have not been taught to be wives, they don't know their role and their duties. And the same thing for the men. They haven't been taught to be men. They haven't taught to be husbands. We're not taught to hunt anymore. We're not taught to fish. We're not taught to uh, build, how to farm. You know,
Right.
all of the things that I'm taking extra time out of my day to try to make sure my sons have some of these skills, you know, before they leave my care, so that
Right.
when they go in the world, they go in as men, respected,
Add something. Right.
skills and experience. You know, because I didn't realize until I got into the world how little I knew. You know, I left the house at 18, like I'm ready, and then I was like, hold up, how do I write this check? You know,
Right. So right here,
yeah,
the definition of husbandry is, which is a noun, ladies and gentlemen. You're right. Animal husbandry. The word husbandry, or that came about raising livestock. That came when we owned shit, right? The care, cultivation, and breeding of crops and animals, right? Crop husbandry, management and conservation of resources, right? So Lux Love said you can't be a husband if you don't govern land.
that's right.
And that goes back into my observation. This was just a basic observation that I made. It is not deep, it's not even profound. The observation was we were functioning in the deep south, in our before these exoduses into the big cities. We were functioning more as a family unit, and Gogo, or the grandmother, was able to procreate at the rate that she did because the father, who was there, right? He was producing. He was in charge of the production cycles of produce. The food was coming off the land, right? If you know, the majority of the food was basically being sourced from the land. So if the woman got pregnant, if she was with child and whatnot, they would not, you know, she had that counsel with the aunts and the grandmothers and whatnot. They would not tell her to terminate the child because there was a cohesive family unit, and there was provisions and whatnot, so you can feed the child.
Facts.
Right. So then you have children raising a child. You have the village there or in close proximity. The father's producing, he's providing and whatnot. Yeah.
That's and that's how it's supposed to look, brother.
Yeah.
You can't say it more perfect than that. And when you look at these other cultures, like you mentioned, they still do that. It's not even, they don't do it any other way. My Jamaican friends, my Trini friends, my African friends, they all practice that.
Right.
The
Mine's too, coming up in Flatbush.
Yep.
Right. I was in Flatbush and I went to Miami for about 2 years, right? And I stayed with the Cubans. And although we do have our hangups with the way Cubans are portrayed as, you know, super racist, in this building, I was with the hood Cubans, and they were not racist at all, to the point where I even had my moms come and stay with me, just so I just was like, Mom, you got to come down here and just experience what I'm experiencing.
Indeed.
And like, I could come in that building, and they used to have their doors open. This is an apartment building, like 5 stories, but just multiple doors would be open, and they'll be eating dinner, and they'll be like, come in. And I'm like, do these people know I'm a nigga from Brooklyn? Like, what are they inviting? Like, you know what I mean? In my mind, I'm like, fam, y'all are a little too inviting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Respectfully. But I'm coming in. I'm gonna come. I don't eat the pork. No, give me that yellow rice. And you know, language barrier. They spoke English, but they would get into their native tongue and everything. Yeah. But it just felt different. The grandmama in the apartment, the aunties, the daughter, she had a child. She's there with the child. And then the father of the child might be over there eating with us and whatnot. But it was just very, you know, structured in a sense. Then of course you go back. I go to Flatbush. I'm in the, that's like the little Caribbean right there, Trinidadian, Panamanian, Jamaican, Haitian. Now the Africans are there, and it's just like Harlem. Okay, then after that I'm in Harlem.
Yeah.
So I go back to Harlem recently. I go back to New York for that matter, and all of the quote unquote the majority of the people from Harlem are no longer there. A lot of people died. A lot of people made transition. And a lot of people got pushed out. Who took over Harlem? Who took over Manhattan? Who basically took over New York? Everybody that's living the old school way. Everybody else is gone because they cannot cope with this individual fake ass chasing a European and whatnot, trying to live like them. No, the Africans that's shacked up, they chilling.
The ones that's creating their own economics.
Right, the ones that are creating their own economics. So they took over the delivery business and the rideshare business, right? So they do all of the food deliveries. I'm talking about they got legions of scooters and bikes. Even when the migrants came, the Venezuelans and everything, they locked down and took over the rideshare, all of that type of stuff. I say all of that to say that there's a formula, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to even get back to that formula because they have literally programmed our people to feel like that shit is a failure and it's whack. I know women that be like, I would never let my mother in the house with me. I'm like,
the only way you can do it, you got to start at home, brother.
I'm like, God damn, who the fuck? Like, I don't, that type of energy is like, it's like, I don't want to be nowhere around nobody like that. Yeah. I don't want to associate. I don't want to affiliate. I don't even want to try to help nobody who's vibing like that. Like that's an automatic L for me. You can't win like that. So people moving like that, they're never gonna win. You're not gonna win in this world. You might win the sweepstakes when this shit turns into Hunger Games or something.
Look, and I'm gonna tell you, that whole Hunger Games scenario is crazy because, when the whole pandemic went down, the wildest part of it was that from where I was, like I didn't even have to two-step. I didn't have to worry about going to the store to try to figure out what I was going to get from the grocery store because I only had to go in the backyard.
Right.
I was homeschooling, so it didn't affect the family. I'm an herbalist and a naturopath, so we had the phone just didn't stop ringing because people needed help. So I was just I was running around Atlanta just dropping off packages.
Right. You know what I mean? And you became essential.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Shout out to my Twitch, my KTL Twitchers.
Oh, and I got a chance. I was in town for class a couple weeks ago, and after class, somebody had mentioned that your brother was over at the Yellow Door, so I stopped through, said what's up. So we had I got to see him.
KT or Blue?
Yeah, KT.
Yep. Shout out to KT. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's his spot, right? The Door. I saw him advertising.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I'm sure you remember that. You set up both of our first lecture together.
I don't remember.
You remember that? It was off of Memorial Highway. It was me, you, KT. It was at an Ethiopian restaurant.
You remember that? I remember that now. Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. So I had to stop.
Man, that was a long time ago. That's old ATL cycles. I be forgetting about certain things.
That's like 2011.
2011. That was that run. That run.
For sure.
That was very instrumental for me too, Gabriel. That 2011, 2012 Atlanta run. That was my make it or break it.
Yeah,
I could have got lost. I could have got swallowed up and lost, and y'all would have never known. You know what I mean? They'd have been. You remember Red Pill? remember that Red Pill? You mean the nigga that looked like Blue Pill? Yeah, what happened to him? Yeah, that was a very interesting period of time.
Yeah, it was.
ATL.
Sure was.
Somebody said that girls get kicked out, boys stay when however long they ever wanted. Nah, that's not what I seen. The boys get kicked out the house, and these new. I mean, the mothers who got the boys alone, yeah, that's different. The mothers who raise those households, yeah, the boys might stay a little bit longer, and sometimes it's a little aggressive with the daughters. I've seen that. But there's also households where the boy gotta go. At 18, he got to go. You know what I mean? Man up, get your shit, go to college, or get you a trade or something. And boys was getting sent to the armed services and other generations and whatnot. They had to go for service, they had to go get a job, or they were basically kind of pushed to get into, go get you a lady or something. Regardless of whatever gender gets pushed out first, we as the new parents, it's us now, y'all. It's us. We not our grandparents and we not our parents. It's us with that fuckery, with that European mind state. That's us. We don't want to hold our parents down. We don't want to bring our elderly parents into the house. We got these new girls and whatnot. They don't want nobody's parents around. Shit like that. Like we, the younger generation, X and Y and all of that crazy shit, we the ones that's acting real kooky. So yeah, we need to fix it. You know what I mean? We need to fix it. I promise you. Because the children coming up right now, the shit that they're looking at, they're gonna be, it's going to get scary if these young generations that see how our generations are doing our old heads and our elders, they're gonna fucking shit on us. Trust. It's gonna be ugly, So I would suggest that people who may be too proud begin to see the positivity and the quote unquote and other quote unquote tribes, nations, and nationalities. Humble yourself and pick up what works and adapt to that. You know what I mean? Because that is a winning formula, regardless of what anybody says. Fuck your couch. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, let me
fuck all that shit that you talk to over your parents, though.
Hey, really? Let me speak to that formula real quick that you just mentioned. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, indeed. Yeah, just to what you said, I wanted to add on because when I first got into the restaurant business, right? I'm just as a cook.
Right.
I'm working next to this young man. I was 18 years old. He was 18, except he was Mexican, right? We get chopping it up because we're working together every day, side by side, and I'm learning more about him. So we're getting closer, And he's like, he lets me know that he lives in a house, him and 8 other guys, in a 2-bedroom. I'm looking at him like, what? How y'all do that? He said, oh, we just sleep wherever, And right. I said, how do y'all do the bills? He said, well, every month somebody pays all the bills.
Right.
And that's when it hit me. I said, you get to put away 9 months of money? You pay, everybody pays one time, and then I was like, wow. I said, okay, that's why. Right. I mean, that alone, that mentality of working together, people, it sounds so cliche, I always hear people talk unify and this, that, and the third, but when you see it in action and you see how it actually works, it's like, oh, if you don't work together, it's not going to work. I mean, you can do it yourself. Don't get me wrong. It's just going to take longer. That's all. But
right.
But yeah, if we want to get something done community-wise, and like you said, if you want to address these family units and how to get out of this issue where these gender wars, we got to start first of all, and there has to be a different narrative. So like what you're doing here, creating this new idea around it, not, hey, how do we fix this? What's the solution? Because a lot of those conversations, and I've heard some of them, because somebody kind of hit me to more recently that there's some kind of gender war going on. I kind of took a quick look, and from my assessment, I don't really see a gender war. I really see two confused groups of Americanized so-called
Right.
black folks
Indigenous folk. Right.
who are just a little lost, who really don't understand their own traumas or each other's traumas. And
Right.
these conversations that they're having, though, are key. Some of them hurt, some of them, are hard to have. But until everybody hears each other's side, and until we have, some wise counsel around the conversation, adding wisdom in to kind of guide the conversation, then it's just going to continue to be a back and forth with no direction. But with what you're doing,
All right,
this is key.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Let's throw a solution out there, right?
Mhm.
Because we want to factor in that it is 2025, right? So let's up the ante up a little bit, and let's change clothes, and let's say for our melanated indigenous brothers and sisters and whatnot, what about a barnarium, right? What about the concept of purchasing a barnarium? And a barnarium basically is, a central location, like a house, but on this land, right? Let's say an acre, okay? Let's say an acre. Think Boozy Estates, right? Like Little Boozy, he has the Boozy Estates. Think Boozy Estates, right? He bought the land, raw land, and built all type of real estate on top of it. So his children have houses. The mother of his children, I think he said, might have a house all the way down past the lake, right? And what that does is that brings the unit together. We got these big family units and whatnot, but everybody's scattered out. They're paying mortgage over there. They're paying rent in this big city. They're getting fleeced in New York. They over there about to lose the house because they couldn't pay the taxes on this house. Then you got the family land, and that been lacking and whatnot. So it's like, why not just come all together? You don't got to live on top of each other. You build the barnariums and whatnot. You drop the my barnarium is going to be the first initial house, might even be one of those container homes. Like you combine the container homes and jazz that bitch up, and then start building the other big boy houses on the land. So then I tell my daughter, you there your house go right there. You know what I mean? You're good. We eat at the dinner table. You understand? We don't eat in our rooms at night. We eat at the dinner table. We have a weekly family meeting. You feel me? No phones, none of that distraction stuff. Y'all got your own house. Be fruitful and multiply. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And like you said, the bills will be handled. We will select who pays the bills, who will handle the majority of the bills, maybe on a monthly basis, and it might rotate. You know what I mean? It may rotate, or just based off of how the businesses are set up. Because your house is gonna be a content house, daughter. You know what I mean? Since you want to do YouTube, that half of that check is gonna go. You got to pay the house. You got to pay the house. We're gonna do all type of what they would call, because this is a new economy. We're gonna do creator economy. We're gonna do creator economy type of stuff alongside, if you want to pursue your gifts and your talents or whatever. But we not punching the clock. We're not getting up and leaving this barnarium to go work for nobody and put them in power. You feel me? We're gonna grow fruits. We're gonna grow vegetables. We're gonna eat local. You feel me? We're gonna have a little farmers market on a strong end. We might even have a food truck. Y'all getting y'all culinary license. We're gonna create internet businesses. Like, we're gonna make this shit work.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're kind of telling my plan online right now.
I'm in to blow you up.
Now, because certain keys I keep to myself, but just because as you're building, sometimes you don't want to let all the cats out the bag, so to speak. But I'm building a barndominium right on this land that I'm
You're
on.
a legend. You
so behind the main house, that's what I'm building right now. That's the
move. My heart smile.
bro.
Spin City, my brother Spin City, he's sitting on acres and whatnot in Atlanta. You know what I mean? I'm so proud of him. I'm happy that he's even experiencing what that even looks like, feels like, and what it and just to be the being of it, right? Sometimes they say
Let me stop
speak
you for 1
things.
second.
Yes.
I don't want to cut your wisdom, but I just want to speak to what you said because it's so powerful. Because you said, speak to the solution. And although I'm in the process of doing that right here, maybe 3, 4 houses down, properties down to my left, some more of my family. Their last name is Brown, and they have about an acre, maybe an acre and a half over there. They got 6 houses on that land.
On an acre, right?
All of the Browns stay right there.
Meet the Browns. Look
Literally.
at that.
Look
at that.
They're demonstrating right here.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope. Shout out to Acre Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the brother Farrakhan. With what's the name of his thing that he's doing? The thing that Ben Exon was doing.
I missed out on that
Hereafter Farms, I believe. Hereafter Farms.
Oh, okay.
You got the Acre Boys. They doing their thing. Beans Estates. I'm just calling out the names of some of our melanated brothers and sisters who are literally changing people's lives by showing melanated people they have access. I did not know we had access. Yo, I went on eBay one day and they were selling land. I literally fell out. I had no idea. This was like 2010. I damn near fainted, bro.
Yeah, for the low. Colorado, California, Texas.
So I was pushing a website. What was it? Buyland.
Buyland.com.
Buyland.com. I was pushing that in my Facts Initiative. I was pushing that in like all of my lectures from like 2014 and up. You feel me? So people who was in the class, they was listening. They was going there and buying shit. You feel me?
I bought 40 acres in California, San Bernardino in 2017 off of eBay.
Oh my goodness. 40?
40
You
acres.
got your 40 acres?
I had to get my 40. Yeah, that's real. That's real. It's still available, but not in the same abundance as it was.
Right. I gotta get you and Blue Pill together too, because Blue Pill and H Factor, they started something called Farmy, like the army.
I literally just heard that.
H Factor is out of West Point, so he has that elite military mind. So they created called the Farmy, and that was like a response to when they were scaring our people with that cutting the snaps and everything, and the government shutdown. They had the fear mongering.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, green thumb in it. I think that is definitely that's gonna look good on me this year.
And let me simplify that too, because I might be doing a lot agriculturally, right? But I'm gonna tell you that people don't have to go that extreme. You don't have to have a bunch of land. You can have an apartment. So I do want to say that too. Like if you don't have those resources, that's fine. Like if y'all, this side note, if y'all went to my website, which he has a link to it, and I think it says it at the bottom there, we have these towers that we use. I only have 2 at the moment.
Verticals?
Yeah, bro. I mean, you don't even need, like, you don't have to buy it cash. You can get it with no credit. You can pay $50 a month on it for a year and it's yours. But you basically, it takes up a corner, right? 3 by 3 feet, right? Yeah. And you can get the basic joint has 20 slots.
Right.
You can expand it to 40 and have 40 plants growing, meaning you can have a full variety of fresh greens and different vegetables and even fruits. Side note, you're not supposed to put trees in it, but I started out 3 soursop trees on them. Just so you know, you do have to take it out before it starts to, get too big.
Right?
It'll start it and get you growing.
And then you just pot it.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And you can grow medicinal cannabis.
Hey.
Side note.
The hemp too, the Hempington.
The Hempington, yes, sir.
Because I know that the hemp grows, that grows in abundance, and
it grows beautifully in those towers, actually.
Nah, that's dope. Do you got the website for anybody that may want to go ahead and put in a order?
Yeah, it's right there at the bottom of your screen. Yeah, right at the bottom of your screen.
So let's get into your offering. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Let's get into your offering and let's give the family the good news of the day and just let them know what exactly they have to look forward to when they receive their free 7-day raw detox guide. We're not selling you anything, family. We're gifting you something to guide you through this winter solstice that we are all on right now. And we want you to definitely take full advantage of what this brother has to offer to you. Okay. Good. Love offering.
Yeah. So what I did, brother, I wrote a book back in 2015, and it was the 21-day raw vegan detox, right?
Yeah.
And it's packed full with all kind of information and data and food lists and how to sprout and how to do all this. It's a lot of information, and it's done well. It's got all 5 stars on Amazon. I don't like selling it on Amazon because I don't make hardly no money on Amazon, but the people that bought it there, obviously I got great reviews on it, so I'm happy about that. But I wanted to make something a little bit smaller that was easy to follow, that people didn't have to kind of go through like a textbook, because that other book, it actually has like 70 plus recipes. So it really gets down to the nitty gritty. Right. This one just has a few basic recipes because it's only to get you through those 7 days. So literally it may be 20 pages. The main 7 pages that you need to work on are those days. The other pages kind of deal with a little bit of science, little information just to guide you and give you basic information and foundations on minerals, on staying hydrated, on making sure, just giving you basic data on sprouts and just different types of food that we should be incorporating into our diet and why we should be incorporating raw foods more into our daily lifestyle. And, it explains a little bit on liver detoxification and why this is so important.
What about kidney?
Definitely.
What about kidney detox so we get that energy?
Yeah, it deals with that.
Okay.
Kidney detoxing is very simple. Those that know me in the city, there was a time where I used to walk around with a big glass jug. And now, it's kind of turned into a fad, But I'm still claiming I was the first.
What was in the jug?
Man, I had 2 main things mostly, but I usually had a few things. But the main 2 things I always had was my burdock root and my dandelion root.
Okay.
And those 2 herbs are excellent for kidney and liver detoxification. And that burdock also cleanses the blood. It's always been my
go-to.
It's my go-to. It's my secret weapon.
Is that a bitter?
It is. It is. Yeah. It's very bitter. But I mean, when you drink it for a while, you start to really enjoy the flavor.
Right.
I love it. I don't put no sweetener. Just give me that burdock and dandelion. I'm good to go. And you will have to urinate a good bit. Because it is a diuretic, but what I've noticed, and this is kind of a side note, but to speak to what you said about the kidneys.
Can I ask you a question? I'm sorry to cut you off. Is that why the shrooms, you urinate a lot off the shrooms? Is that the same reason?
That's a good question. I'm really not sure. Honestly, I don't know about that.
Somebody said they couldn't scan the code. Let me see. Where could we give them a QR code?
They can go straight to the site if they just go to smypharmacy.com.
Okay. Yeah, Smai Pharmacy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, SMAI. It stands for Sekhmet's Medicine Awakens Imhotep. And Smai also is a word for Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it is Medu Netter.
Beautiful, beautiful.
But if you go there, just go on the site and slide through, you'll see a free book. You'll see where it's a free book there. You also mentioned the zinc and the vitamin D. We carry those things.
I'm sorry. I also have the PDF on Buy Me a Coffee, ladies and gentlemen. I do have it on Buy Me a Coffee as a free download. So you also have the option to get it from there. I will throw the website here, and I'll also give you the Buy Me the Coffee link. Please continue. I'm sorry for cutting you.
No, you good. You good. I even forgot where I was, to be honest.
Ugh, ugh, ugh.
I forgot what I was saying, brother.
The last word that you said?
Yeah, where was I at? I was following you on the coffee and forgot where I was at. Oh, basically just the yeah, so you can find it on the zinc. You had mentioned the zinc
and the magnesium, right?
Yeah, all of those things, you can find all those on the site. We have a lot of different herbs for different things that can help people. But I would also say if you don't know what you need, then you can also contact me for a consultation. I'll be glad to direct you in the right direction if you're not sure what to do.
Even when it comes to the whole farming thing as well, you do consultations on that?
Yeah. Actually, we do have farm consultations on the site. So if you're interested in that, if you go through everything on there as far as the products, you'll see that. You'll also see for women who might be trying to conceive or maybe pregnant and needing a doula, we have those services available as well. But if you go through the site, you'll be able to see all of the different products and services we have for the public.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Very
just
proud of what you're doing.
Oh, indeed. Same here, brother. You already know. You already know. But I need to come out to Stone Mountain. When the next time you're going up there?
You know what, my good brother? I literally wanted to go yesterday, man, because I got people in town that never been up there. So I did wanted to do the 111. I'm gonna link up with Brother Rich later on. We got a studio session, so I'm gonna find out. We're gonna talk about it.
Studio session. Did you hear the masterpiece that me and Henri put together?
No, come on now. You gotta send me that, bro.
All right, I'll send it to you when we hang up. When we get off here.
Shout out to Big Yo. You know what I mean? Did y'all go there? Big Yo?
Yeah, that's the bro.
My guy right there, man. That's my guy. Yeah. We was able to knock a whole project out with him. Very, very
effortlessly.
Very professional.
Yeah.
Very comfortably, I would say. Very comfortably. Yeah. Shout out to Henri. Shout out to the whole fam. Somebody wants to know, where's the best place to get full health diagnostic?
If you go to the site and just hit on the consultation, we actually do full diagnostics. So I actually have a full telehealth program. So not only will we do a full consultation, full body scans, but if you need your blood work, any kind of panels you need, we can order all your panels. We even take certain insurance. So we've come a long way in that regard into what naturopaths are able to do nowadays.
Oh, for sure. Is the inclusion of Maha and Robert Downey Jr., has that been beneficial? And have you seen an immediate change in regards to access as a result of the JFK Jr. getting into his position?
Now, when you said the Maha,
that's his movement, Make America Healthy Again.
Oh man, to be honest, I haven't really seen a big influx from that personally. More, I mean, what I deal with mostly is people come to me from word of mouth.
Right.
So if other people that I've helped in the past, they'll just pass my information.
Right, the best form of promotion there still is.
Yeah, so that's mostly what I get because I'm involved in a lot of other things, so I don't do a whole lot of marketing. We do have a office in Dallas that we opened a couple years back, and that office is thriving. So, we have a lot of clients in Dallas, But because I've been going back and forth and dealing with the agriculture, I haven't been doing marketing. But anytime somebody calls me, I'm always available for
Dope, dope, dope.
them.
You know Sister Nia, in
Yeah.
West End, Julius
Yeah.
White?
Sure.
Right, right. Because I know that they have the bloodless blood test.
Oh yeah. So we do that as well. But some people want to see both.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
One of the main differences is that when you do a dry blood, it's like a snapshot, you know.
Right,
Um,
right,
so so like when people take their blood sugar, it's also like a snapshot. So at
right.
that particular moment, the blood sugar may be a little high, right?
That moment
At
versus
that
where you
moment.
are later on.
But exactly. So the body is constantly going through flux
Changes, right, fluxes.
and changes, and so when we do it with the non-blood, I feel like we get a better reading personally.
Mm, okay.
But people in general want to see it, you
Right,
know.
right, right,
So
right.
I think that does something for the
The
mind of the
psyche.
client
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah. They want to see the sample.
Yeah. So I mean, it costs a little bit more, but at least we getting down to it, and we don't have to question anything. What we found too is with a lot of these diagnostic tools, the newest ones that are using radionics and some of the same information and technology that you find in lie detector tests for the biofeedback,
Mm-hmm.
this stuff is coming out 90+% accurate. And a lot of times coming out more accurate than the actual blood work, which is
Right.
interesting. So I've been finding that really interesting. Did I hear
Yeah,
you say,
I was blown away when I saw the technology.
were you talking about some radionics the other day?
Yes, the good brother Sharif Bey,
Yeah,
he's introduced these concepts, and I went and did my deep dive, and I was blown away.
yeah.
Um,
So in the school I went to for acupuncture, part of our program was bioenergetics and radionics. So I've been playing with that stuff since the '90s, and so to hear you guys speaking about it the other day,
mhm.
I got excited. I was like, man, I said people finally catching on. So that's
Yep.
good to hear you guys speaking on it because you guys have a lot of
It's
influence,
time.
so it can trickle down and people can start
Right, right.
getting
It's
out about
definitely the timing on that is correct. You know what I mean? So we're gonna
it. Yeah.
tackle that. Let them know, leave them with some words. Let the family know what exactly, some advice for them going through these winter months, of course.
Okay.
But brothers and sisters that are out here struggling with their quote unquote health.
Mhm.
And I also want to speak, of course, to the influx in parasites and people wanting to get rid of those parasites once they become aware of the dangers and the effects of the parasite infections, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I just want you to share what the 7-day raw food fast and the detox is going to do for them.
Mhm.
Where are they going to look? What are some of the challenges that they're going to face going through the 7-day raw?
Yeah.
Because I don't want nobody to just jump in that water and just think that it's going to be a doggy paddle. We can't, you know what I mean? So by day 3 or 4, we want them to know what they're going to be looking forward to.
Okay. So basically, what you're going to find in the book is um, a basic but comprehensive guide on how to cleanse and detox properly. It's not a whole lot of fluff. That's why it's only 20 or so pages. So I don't have any fat in this book.
Mm,
There's no opinion. There's none of
right,
my, I'm not meandering on the page.
right.
I just I just put the data, and I put it like that because that's how I like to receive data. I can't really speak for everyone else, but I made it in a way that I thought would be very easily understandable and acceptable. I gave you a routine from day to night, what to do throughout the day, and how to do it and still function and still go to work and live your life and do what you have to do. Because some
Right.
of these cleanses, as you well know, can have you on the bathroom for days, and you need to take time off of work, or you need to make sure you do it on the weekend, so
Right.
forth and so on. So it's very gentle. It does not affect your daily activities. All you're doing is supplementing what you usually would eat or would drink for something a little bit better that actually facilitates detoxification in the body. So it's going to activate basically phase 1 and phase 2 of detoxification within the liver, and then help you to eliminate all of the toxins that are being removed out of the body by flushing your body with good hydration, a lot of minerals, antioxidants, and things that allow the liver to do what it's going to do. Um, and so, really, at the end of the day, that's what it's for. As far as this winter, people should definitely, as we spoke of earlier, be very mindful, especially men, be very mindful of the amount of semen that you allow to leave your body, especially if you're not trying to make a baby, or you're not uh, having sexual intercourse with your significant other. Wasting that seed is wasting your life force. The easiest way you can put it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're having issues with that, there are people that you can speak to about that. If you need a consultation, you can, reach out to me. I do help a lot of men in that department, and I found that even though the numbers and the statistics say that 50% of men in the U.S. are dealing with some sort of ED or PE, which is erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, it's actually probably closer to 70%, from my estimates, based on what I saw in my personal brick and mortar herb shop. I did, I had men in their 20s trying to figure out how to keep it up. And for me, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
What role does polyester play in that, in your humble opinion? What role does polyester play in ED?
Wow, that's a deep question, brother. So in Tantra, polyester is like it's like this, you can't, the energy can't move.
Right. It's stuck.
Yeah, it blocks the frequency, it blocks the energy. So I would definitely say the best of your abilities, try to use natural fibers.
Right.
That's the best thing I could say for that.
Linen
for sure. That's number one. Linen,
cashmere,
bamboo, whatever you can get that's a natural fiber,
right,
is going to be your friend.
Go to. Yes.
Anything synthetic, I know sometimes fashion is fashion. It is what it is. But if you're looking to maintain a certain frequency, then you kind of want to stay in those natural fibers.
Yeah, the fast fashion thing is fueled. We brought something up the other day. I was speaking to my bro G Host, and we're actually doing going to Colombia to do a 10-day retreat and an emergence, right? We're going to be doing Mama Aya, right, amongst some other things.
Definitely.
So we brought up the whole situation with the Venezuela, with this fake war against drugs, and the fact that petroleum is one of the main components and ingredients in the cocaine, right? Along with them at war with the petroleum for the oil in the land, but then also fast fashion, but also the pharmacopoeia. So these pills and whatnot, they got everybody messed up. That's petroleum based as well.
That's right.
You feel me? And then you also have
petrochemicals.
Petrochemicals. So then fast fashion took over the Caribbean and South America with all of the girls. I watched the videos from the Passport Bros, and all of the girls are on the beach wearing petroleum and polyester, the wrestling tights and the yoga pants and the Lululemon and everything. And I'm like, family, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I know what it does for the men, but what is it doing for the yoni? What is it doing for the women? If it can't breathe, if the yoni can't breathe, you talking about a yoni steam? That's a yoni sea boy or seafood boil when you wearing them goddamn pants. Like, let's keep it a fucking 1,000. What happened to the sundresses, beloved?
True. You already know what it's doing, brother. It's
Already know.
cooking.
Super cooking.
It's cooking. Okay.
Good.
You definitely, yeah. That's a whole nother conversation. But same thing. They need breathable.
Somebody want to know if you got land in San Bernardino.
Actually, I gave that land up. I had side story on that real quick. I had the Temple 33 above Tassili's.
Yes.
So when I set that temple up, first thing we did, first order of business at Grand Sheik there was to purchase land in the name of the temple, which we did. So we had people that weren't even members. They were just working into Sealy's that found out what we were doing, and they came and invested as well. We had more people that weren't in the temple that were a part of that. But over time, over about a year time, most people kind of fell off from their part of it. And it was like, it was so cheap. It was 6 of us, and we only had to pay like $25 a piece a month.
Yeah.
I ended up holding that note for maybe another year, and I just ended up letting it go. I was like, I'm not going to do it by myself. If I'm going to get some land, I'm just going to go ahead and cop it and make it happen.
Yeah.
Because what I find a lot of times within the community, you have to demonstrate and show people how it's done for them to be like, oh, okay. That's where my restaurants came from. Those were all things that I was doing originally for the community. But when I realized that people weren't really as invested or serious as I was, I just went ahead and just did it. Demonstrated to show like, look, this is what I was talking about.
Right.
So, but yeah.
Somebody asks, have you noticed a financial shift after a season of retention? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
during the season, your ass is gonna start getting all type of shit. Like become magnetic.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, brother.
Money is a currency. It's an energy. You become magnetic. That shit is attracted to you.
Yeah.
When you don't have magnetism, you don't have no charge. So when you don't have no charge, your ass don't got no current. So how could you generate a currency? You're not pulling anything to you. You don't have a charge. You feel me? You're tapped out. So literally, that's when people lose money. You start losing shit because you have holes in your aura. You're not magnetic enough.
That's right. And you know what? You're right, because the whole thing about holes in the aura, so there's different levels to everything, right?
Yeah.
And so like how the system of Kung Fu that I'm involved in now and have been for a little over 20 years now, I used to train with Baba Vita. I don't know if you remember the brother. Did you ever get to meet Baba Vita?
No, I didn't.
But so I had trained with Baba Vita privately. And so when I started training with him in Northern Shaolin Kung Fu, he pulled me to the side after about 2 weeks of training, and he said, what are you doing? Like, what do you plan on doing? Because I was like 18, maybe I might have been 19 at the time. And I said, well, I'm in school for acupuncture. I'm studying Chinese medicine. I would like to, help people.
Right.
He looked at me. He was like, He said, okay. He said, well, you don't come to this class anymore. And I, at first, in my mind, I felt like I was in a Kung Fu movie. I'm like, teacher, no.
No, don't do that.
But he was like, I must have been tearing up, be honest, probably. And
right.
he was like, nah. He said, I want you to come here after class and pick me up, take me to my house, and I'm going to teach you privately. And
right.
Said, yes, sir. So I started coming differently. I started just picking him up after class, and we go to his house and go train for hours. And, that was the first time I learned a system of medical Qigong. And and then he sent me to his teacher, which is another legend. Some people know him as Raymond Cooper, but his name was Tolona Nganga.
Right.
And Talona took me under his wing, and he passed during the pandemic. But man, he shared so much wisdom. But what it was when they left Atlanta, I had an issue because I could not find a qualified teacher. And I was looking and I was looking because I had reached a certain level in my Qigong training where I couldn't go to people I knew because they hadn't reached certain levels yet. And
Right.
and so I couldn't get certain answers to certain questions I had. And I ended up finding the Southern Praying Mantis School. And I didn't even get to watch the whole class yet. I just saw how they began and closed their Qigong, and I knew I was in the right place. And what happens when people have rents or tears or holes in their aura, through the Qigong training, as you're breathing, as you're going through the training, your aura actually extends out and gets thinner and thinner, right, as it grows. Right. But at the end of the Qigong practice, you're actually supposed to pull all of that in and close that net back up. And this is what gets rid of those holes in the aura. Right. But if we never do these exercises and this work, I mean, aside of having a shaman standing over you and doing several sessions to clean up all of that, but even in that, if you haven't done the work yourself,
right, you still got to cultivate.
Those holes are going to come back. They may clean it up for a second. It might shine for a second, but if everything is still there that they didn't get to the root, all that stuff is going to come back. So you got to be thorough. And so, like in this winter time, you really want to take your time to meditate, go within. Just remember, all things are added upon you when you go within. So go within first. Take that first moment out of the day. Like even this morning, I had to rush up. I woke up a little late, but you know what I did? I got back in bed for a quick second when I realized my feet hit the floor, and I just sat up and I got me 5 minutes of quick meditation in before I left the house. Mm-hmm. I had to rush, but I was like, nah, I got to take my time for me first. And then I'll go out and see the world, you know?
Right, mandatory. Are you familiar with the Falun Gong?
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I started training that back in 98. Matter of fact, the brother that introduced me to Southern Praying Mantis introduced me to Falun Gong, and he also introduced me to Agnihotra. So his name was Victor Clark.
Okay.
He stayed in the Bluff, and he was a Kung Fu man in Atlanta.
Oh.
Yeah. So he was another one of my teachers that came through and blessed me with some high level information.
Yeah, I got bliss to get this book. You know Aton?
Oh, that name is very familiar.
You more than likely know Aton by face, but
yeah, probably if I see him.
Yeah, Aton, he passed this to me, and I've been maybe for about 6 months now. You know, this is a book of profound wisdom. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So I've definitely been unpacking it. Now I know why China was doing how they were doing them people the way they was doing them.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know, it wasn't the first time that happened.
It wasn't. Respectfully, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
it's completely different too, because you know, I had aspirations to go visit and do certain things, but I'm like, hell nah. Like, what the hell? If they doing people like this, like that, like we're not in alignment at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we hitting the 2-hour mark. I don't want to do too much over. This was a very loaded session. I do feel that anyone who is watching this is going to benefit immensely off of just the intrigue. If you never did a fast before, if you never detoxed before, if you were on the fence, hopefully you will climb over with us and be a part of this. If you're listening to this and you're a part of the January 15th Columbia trip, one of the reasons why we're here with this information is so you could get right, so you could detox and get your body ready for the ayahuasca. You don't want to go there and you're not ready. Your temple is not clean or in the process of cleansing or being cleaned. So I would highly suggest that you go with this. Those that are entering into the winter solstice and you want some type of change, anybody that's struggling with some type of addictions or vices that we brought up earlier, fasting and that raw food detox. What about parasite removal? What are your
I mean, I think it's critical. I think it's a critical aspect of health. Of course, we got parasites on many different levels. You have your physical parasites that are inside of your body. Then you have your physical parasites on the outside of your body.
right.
That's your spiritual parasites. But to deal with those physical parasites within the body, I'm gonna say pretty much what most people would say in that regard. I'm kind of old school when it comes to that. I like
Okay.
cloves. I love cloves. I love wormwood and black walnut primarily. There's a few
You're
other.
a bitters man. You're a bitters man.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna share this with you guys. I helped this one sister one time. My mother brought her to me, and she had parasites so bad, brother, that you could see them moving in her face. Okay, I mean, being next to her made my skin crawl. Okay,
Right.
I put her on a regimen. Say it again.
She was overly infested.
Overly infested. She had spent some time overseas in Africa doing some work for people, community work, if you will, and she had been exposed to different waters and different things, and her body was infested. Long story short, I put her on.
You could look at certain people, and be like, "God damn, what's happening?"
I put her on garlic tea and castor oil. Now, when I put people on castor oil, I don't go by the bottle, because the bottle, it tells you to take a tablespoon, and that's going to give you explosive diarrhea.
Right.
So I tell people to take 3 times a day, 1 teaspoon, so that you have a nice flow throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? And
so 3 times a day, you said?
Yeah. And I put her on that we did 120 days, because there's, the egg cycles of different parasites are different.
Right. Got to kill off the larva and everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a while to really go through. And let me tell you, when I saw her again, she was so gorgeous, brother. I didn't even recognize this woman. She's like, "Gabriel." I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like trying to shake her hand. She's trying to hug me. I'm like, "Lady, I don't
know
like,
you.
No, hug me."
Right.
And then she's like, and my mom's like, "You don't know who that is?" And I'm like, "Nah, And then she's like, "Oh, I'm such and such. You remember you helped me out?" She pulled out her phone, brother, and showed me the video of what expelled from her body.
Right.
There was thrashing in the toilet. These sea monsters came out of her.
Right. Straight up.
I mean, I'd never seen anything like that. And
that's
when I knew. I was like, man, this is anointed work, because people need help. People need help out here. And a lot of them don't know what
alien invasion, ladies and gentlemen.
Alien invasion.
I suspect that it came in the 2020s, but it is an alien invasion taking place right now. I'm talking levels of invasion of the body snatchers, right? I'm talking about mind flayer, Stranger Things type shit. Like, this ain't no regular parasites that people got, ladies and gentlemen. This is some different shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like he said, thrashing in the water like a sea monster. Maybe it's the 5G frequency. I don't know. Something is going on, and it's turning these damn parasites up.
Let me say one more thing too about this beautiful place where I'm currently at. There is 0 5G out here. This area voted against it, so they don't have, which means I don't have the best phone service when I'm out here, but
you're not getting zapped.
Not getting zapped.
You in a whole different timeline as a result of that. So kudos to that, man.
The other thing out here too, brother, not to get off topic, I know we got to jump off, is I found there's a place out here called Diamond Hill Mine. Man, I took my, you know, I homeschool, so I took my son on a geological field trip.
Right.
And we took the whole day just to do some mining. Man, we found quartzes and smoky quartz and amethysts and
that's crazy.
Garnets, like
all of that, all in the land. Rich,
definitely. That's right around the corner where I'm at too.
You don't know. We gotta pull up to that, man.
Yeah,
we're going
back soon.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I said earlier, you can access this PDF inside of buymeacoffee.com. Go into the stores, and it's available as a free download. Just insert your email, and you'll have access to it. And you also have the option of course, going to the website. I believe when you download it, it'll send you to the website automatically and whatnot. We have it set up like that. But definitely go and check out smypharmacy.com. Okay. And the brother has more than just a PDF. He has products and services. So for this winter solstice, let's get right. Let's get ourselves in alignment with this healing, with this detoxing, and with this deworming and whatnot, and also with this regeneration and rebuilding of our bodies through the molecular cellular renewal.
And let me just say this, we do have parasite cleanses on the site, as well as full body cleanses as well.
Oh, dope. I gotta go to our sponsors. We have a Seymour sponsor. I need to come and see you as well and drop off a jar. I also have this product called A Game. This is a natural product for men, right? For their vitality and whatnot.
Nice.
And it's not just for bedroom performance. This is actually for fatigue. This is for energy, vitality. You take one every 3 days. We got information and everything on it. We're gonna bring the doctor on the show as well, so she could break down what it is that this wonderful product is. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
It's just this one right here. This is like a it's a super product, I would say. But yeah, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let them know where they can find you on social media. Are you on social as well?
Yeah, you can either find me at Smy Pharmacy on all platforms, or you can just look me up as Dr. Gabriel or Dr. Gabriel Hernandez L.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure y'all tap in with the God. We're going to go to our sponsors, and we will be right back. All right?
V-Cell in my cup, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by Simmons. Flow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. V-Cell in my cup, I'm feeling right. Sip to the sunrise, dance to the night. From the ocean's kiss to your city lights. 21 flavors, pure health in every bite. Drip so clean, we're custom made. From reef to street, we elevate. Gold green gel, set the record straight. Nature in a bottle, that's a better way. Charge me up, no caffeine crash. Clean energy, steady splash. From skin to gut, yeah, we live from within. Wellness on 10, let the rhythm begin. Pour it up, pour it up. Feel the wave, body thanking me for every save. Ocean wisdom in this glass. V-Cell magic, see moss. V-Cell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. Island breeze in the city maze. We're mineral rich in 1,000 ways. Immunity high like the summer rays. Hydrate the hustle, fuel your days. Berry, mango, ginger, lime. Pick your flow, your flavor, your time. Beauty and balance we redefine. Every little sip, align your shine. Pour it up, feel the way. Body thanking me for every sip. Ocean wisdom in this glass. V-Cell magic, see moss. V-Cell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flows. From the coral choir to the heartbeat drum. Roots run deep where the wild tide hum. Real ones know where the glow comes from. VCell in the mix now, watch us.
Yes. VCell. Make sure y'all get y'all VCell CMOS. All right. Shout out to the VCell family.
Shout out.
Yeah. Can you speak to this real quick?
What's up, brother?
Blunts. A lot of I'm gonna throw myself in there too. I ain't gonna cap. You know, I had the backwoods that I was supposed to have been putting down, and I haven't put them down yet. And then somebody came with the damn grabber, the frontal leaf. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get the white. I need to either stop it all together or just switch to the Bob Marley's. Can you speak to the dangers of the gas station tobaccos and these wraps and everything that they pushing?
Yeah, that's I mean, they're literally they're spraying it with all types of chemical sprays. So all of the flavors, all of that stuff is chemical laden and toxic. I don't know if you remember, I'm definitely gonna date myself here, but if y'all remember back to Bone Thugs and Harmony, and he would talk about freaking is black and mild.
Yeah.
You remember the reason for that is that inside paper is like it's almost like a composite. So they basically take paper scraps and just like smash it together, and they used to call it cancer paper.
Right.
It would be the same thing as like in construction. They got that composite board.
Composite boards, right?
Yeah. So
shit like a Frankfurter.
Yeah, you don't want to exactly. You don't want to touch it if you can help it. Of course, your bamboo, your hemp papers, any natural paper. Even with the papers, you got to be careful, because one of the things you have to be careful about is the fact that they still use. There you go. On many of the hemp papers, they use pork. So when you lick it, you think you vegan.
No.
You know, whatever. you lick a tops. You just lick the whole.
You just lick a whole pig in tin.
Yeah, you just lick the bacon, bro. So you got to be careful. You definitely.
I hope this. I would go and Google this immediately, but
from my understanding, those are some very natural ones. They don't add anything. It's just a hemp paper. I've looked into the ingredients on those. As long as they're not capping on the ingredients, it's supposed to be 100% just hemp paper.
Right, hemp, right?
Yeah. So
and I would say, business wise, that would make a lot of sense for any of the entrepreneurs out there. This is the goji berry. Smell good. It tastes good. You literally could eat this. This is goji berry wraps.
Okay. So
they went and took the goji berries, the same thing that got you marrying your lady, and they turned these into wraps. So
nice. Yeah, goji berries that's an amazing herb for those that don't know. Add it to your daily routine if you.
And they got rose petal. They have the rose roll ups too. You could get the rose. They got the actual rose papers.
It's interesting. I didn't know they made papers yet, but I knew people back in the day that used to use actual rose.
Yeah, they would roll up roses. Yeah, I got put on to that out here. Somebody wants to know, what about the vapes or the pre-roll joints and blunts?
Again, man, with anything, in my opinion, it comes down to source. With most things, I'll say, not with anything, but most things is going to be your source. So if you're using a vape, I wouldn't buy one from a gas station or something like that. I would go to one of the companies, and I'm not promoting anybody, but for instance, like Jungle Boys. Jungle Boys uses 100% organic everything. Those companies that are like strict,
very sustainable,
clean. Their
purpose is for clean shit.
Go find those people and use their products, because a lot of other people are putting all right. So if y'all don't know the dangers behind the vapes, there's a whole group of Tong. In Kung Fu, we call them the Tong. This is the Chinese mafia. And the Chinese mafia has moved into the United States in such a way where they have grows in every state, multiple, and they're producing a lot of cannabis. And what they do is they use the
spray pack.
Cannabis.
That's them behind the spray packs?
Yeah, exactly. The spray packs. They spray them down. They let the bombs off in the houses, so they'll never get mold or spider mites, but their cannabis is extremely toxic and poisonous. And then they take that product and then extract the elements from it to make these vapes. You don't want that concentrate. Trust me.
Right.
And as far as your pre-rolls, same thing. Who rolled it? It's kind of like the old, back in the day, you don't want to necessarily hit nothing that you didn't see get rolled.
See rolled up. Right.
Exactly. But if you got a company that you trust, you know what they're doing from the gate, and they have a standard that they stick by.
Right.
That's going to be a personal choice, but I would say know as much as possible about your grower and the whole process from start to finish. Otherwise, you're guessing, and more than likely you're getting something that's not clean.
No doubt. Appreciate that, man. That's something that everybody should take into high considerations. I'm gonna make it my personal mandate to draw back extremely on the trees this year and the papers and shit like that, or the leaf for that matter. But that's something that I'm gonna check myself with. But yeah, man, thank you for your demonstration. I'm definitely going to I'm going to be asking the network how is their fast going and how is everything going. I'm gonna check up on them, and I would definitely love to have you back so we could do a follow-up and just touch on some more things, because this was definitely chock full of information. But we're going to unpack some health related things, and we'll bring you back very soon.
Indeed. Just let me know. I'll be here.
Appreciate you, King. No doubt.
Worries. Peace and love.
All right. Peace and love. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. We'll be back probably later on today with another broadcast. Make sure y'all subscribe and you'll get the notification. Peace, love, and light.
Hey, yo, we got it going on. I'm hit up right on my wrong. Yo, we got it going on. It's for the culture. Yeah. Hey, yo, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah. We hit it right all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my views. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God. I'm teaching essentials, I'm operating at my peak, it's potential. Elijah, he told me to keep it simple. These instrumentals, I speak to your mental. Red, back in the booth, rap to the youth, they was lacking the truth. Back to the seas, they was lacking the roots. Smoked all the trees and they snacking on fruits. Bed, attached to my roof, detached to the roof on the back of the coupe. Back from the future, I'm back in the red and the blue, yeah, I'm back on my snoot. Niggas be biting, they cracking, they tooth. Niggas be capping, they lacking it. Put a toe tag on the back of they boot. Battle with nukes, I'm attacking they truth. I wrote these bars in Sumerian text. The legends of Mu, I'm Sumerian sets. It was written in Targaryen text. Came to conquer her, my various. Yeah, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah. We hit it right all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my views. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God. Back on the mic, was dead on my back, now I'm back on my life. Came back from the future, went back to it twice. When I rose out the grave, they said that dude is Christ. I'ma shine like a star, I'ma twinkle, twinkle as I light up the sky. The whole world was watching on the night I arrived. The Messiah's here, I guess it's finally time. I swear that I hear every prayer that you say. I was there every day, I was still everything in the air.
Chat, what the hell? Really? Whenever they got a pillar at the Vatican. Pope Pablo, where you at?
You either fight or run. Life a game, I feel like I won. Yo, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. We hit a right all our wrong. Hey yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my fuse. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God.
From the quantum shadows, a traveler emerges. Fly Sinet, the multi-dimensional hacker, living his hero's journey. He joins the Pantheon at AI Masters Workshop, November 1st and 2nd, hosted by 363 Empire with Red Pillar and Seven Bomar. Tickets, lock yours in now.
This is the law of mental command. It is the understanding that you are not a victim of your thoughts, but a commander of them.